Happy Friday! Today is June 22nd, 2018, and we are bringing you the weekly Rivers, Roads, and Trails report from Glacier Guides and Montana Raft. It is officially summer now that the solstice was yesterday. We got in those 4 true hours of darkness, and every day from here on out is going to be filled with rafting and hiking and biking and fishing. So moving right along to those rivers, we did have some rain this week and that did bump the flows up a little bit. The Middle Fork is running at about 8,500 CFS today, which is 5.24 feet. Median flows are 8,300, so we're just a little bit above that. We do have plenty of snow in the mountains still, in the high country, and so we are expecting continued lovely runoff throughout the summer for great whitewater rafting and scenic floating. We can set up a trip for you, let us know. The North Fork of the Flathead is really clearing up. It's also dropped significantly. It's running at 5,270 CFS today, or 4.9 feet. Median flows in the North Fork this time of year are typically about 8,500, so it is a bit low. Water temperatures remain at about 52 degrees on both of those rivers in the afternoon, so we are still running wetsuits for maximum safety and comfort. Fishing report, because those rivers are starting to drop and clear up, we are starting to go fishing. The fish are liking the caddisfly, which is not surprising for this time of year, and our guides are really amped up and ready to go. So give us a call if you have house guests that need to be taken out of the house for an afternoon. The roads, when will the Going to the Sun Road open? Oh my gosh, if you can tell me, I have a big prize for you. I would love to know. We would all love to know. But until then, let's continue our enjoyment of the hiker-biker season. Hiker-biker closures remain at the same places they've been for the last couple weeks as the Park Service does the final bit of cleanup and prepares to open the road fully to vehicle traffic. When that magic moment does happen, remember that their biking regulations go into effect. In the late morning and early afternoon hours, there are biking restrictions on the Going to the Sun Road, and you will need to familiarize yourself with those on the park's website. If you have any questions, please let us know. We're always happy to help. All the other park roads are open with the exception of the Cutbank Road, which remains closed due to the weather, and the Packers Roost Road, which is closed due to a washout. Up in the North Fork, we don't have any road closures, but we have seen road restrictions almost every day this week. Actually, Kentlow was restricted by 11 a.m. this morning because the parking lot was full. Bowman was restricted shortly after that, and Avalanche, which is also not in the North Fork, but it was restricted as well. So please check the park's Twitter feed before you head out to the North Fork, and that will give you the most up-to-date knowledge about road conditions. Moving on to trails, the Park Service has updated their website, and our guides have also been out hiking and backpacking, so I've got a few new things to report. In Valley River Country, National Park Service is estimating for the Stony Indian Pass area that the trail from Mokowanis Junction to the pass will probably open around July 26th. On the other side of Stony Indian Pass, in the Goat Haunt area, the trail from Stony Indian Lake Campground to the pass is about 90% snow covered. Route finding skills are required, and an ice axe and self-arrest skills are recommended. There's also lots of trees down in that area, as there seems to be everywhere in the northern edge of the park. So essentially our takeaway is we're all excited, but it's not yet summer in the high country, so use this next 30 days to get in shape for those big passes. Speaking of Goat Hunt, the North Boundary Trail and the Waterton Lake Shore Trail both remain closed due to hazardous conditions lingering from that Keno fire last summer. There are also some changes to the Goat Haunt border crossing station that the National Park Service announced today, and if you have questions about those, the details are in the written Rivers, Roads, and Trails report that I will email out later today. You can email Courtney at Glacier Guides to get on that list. Moving to our backyard, the Lake McDonald area, Lincoln Creek remains closed due to the carcass by the Lincoln Creek cabin. Moving on to Granite Park Chalet up in the Highline area, National Park Service estimating that the trail from Granite Park Chalet to the Swift Current Lookout will be clear in mid to late July, that the trail to the Grinnell Glacier Overlook from there will open in late July, and that the trail from the Chalet to 50 Mountain will open around August 1st. So again, just doing some expectation management and thinking about when the high country is really going to be open for big hiking. Sperry Chalet, the area around the chalet remains closed due to hazards from that fire. However, people are hiking to it. The Hungry Horse News posted some great pictures this week on their website of the mountain goats looking out from what remains of the stone walls of the chalet. I encourage you to go to their website and subscribe and support your local paper. National Park Service is estimating that the trails from Sperry Chalet that would lead to Sperry Glacier and to Lake Ellen Wilson and to Gunsight Pass will probably not open until mid to late July. So keep that in mind if you're heading up to the chalet. Moving over to the mini glacier area of the park, an update here. While we normally recommend the Swift Current Nature Trail for people of all ages, it is closed right now from the boat dock at the head of Swift Current Lake to the Grinnell picnic area, as there is a carcass and some bears on that carcass on that trail. So no nature trail this week. The trail from Cataract Bridge to Grinnell Lake, which is how you would go if you were going up to Pegan Pass from that area, that's also closed due to flooding. However, the Cracker Lake Trail is clear to the campground, the Iceberg Lake Trail is clear, the Ptarmigan Tunnel is still projected to open in mid-July, and the trail to Poya Lake is now clear as well. So that is exciting. In the St. Mary and Logan Pass area of the park, Gunsight Pass to Florence Falls is now clear, and after the falls, the trail which continues on to Gunsight Lake and Gunsight Pass has a lot of trees down. The suspension bridge at Gunsight Lake won't go in until the week of the 4th of July is what they're saying right now. So that is not going to be completely open just yet. Again, that's a high country trail. So Park Service is currently predicting that the Hidden Lake Trail from Logan Pass will open in mid-August. That's a short hike from the pass up the boardwalk with beautiful views of Bear Hat. And then from Sayi Bend to Preston Park, which is the Sayi Pass Trail, they're thinking that's going to open around mid-July, and then the pass itself in late July. In the Two Medicine area of the park, Running Eagle Falls Trail, which is also a favorite for all ages, is also currently closed due to flooding, but I imagine as the waters recede that will reopen here shortly. Park Service is reporting that there's a major snow hazard. If you start at Two Medicine Campground and you're heading out to Old Man Lake, about a mile past the Dry Fork Junction, there is a gully that used to have a plank bridge, but a big avalanche came down this winter and disintegrated that bridge, and then there's about a 6 to 8 foot drop over the creek right now with some snow bridges, so please do not fall into that. That would not be a good thing to do. On the Highway 2 corridor, Harrison Lake is still closed due to a carcass on the trail, and there is also a very hazardous water crossing at Railroad Creek. So if you ever do that whole Summit Autumn Creek area where you would go to from the Firebrand Pass Junction over towards Midvale Creek, there's a bridge over what's called Railroad Creek, and it has sustained major water damage due to all the rain we've had in the last little bit. So be very careful if you are going to cross that bridge. It is not in good shape from what we hear. Also remember, if you're in that area, so much traffic in West Glacier today. If you're in that area, you're going to have to cross onto the Blackfeet Nation, which is the most gorgeous area of the park. It borders it all along its eastern boundary, and you do need to get a travel conservation permit. So if you need details on that, again, look to our written Rivers, Roads, and Trails report. In the North Fork, there's quite a bit of new information about the Bowman Lake area. If you're heading towards Brown Pass, there's over 300 down trees in a 4-mile stretch. There's snow to the Brown Pass campground. It's hard to get through there with a large pack on. There is, of course, snowpack at Brown Pass, and to the hole-in-the-wall campground from there, there's about 80% snow cover. An ice axe is required. Park Service is reporting that even with route familiarity, there was much route difficulty in heading that way. Also, there's still 3 feet of snow at the hole-in-the-wall campground, and National Park Service reports that it can't currently find the outhouse. So again, we're probably thinking August for that campground. So, but you know, all that being said, backpacking season is here. Belly River Country is open. There's some great loops in the Two Medicine area that are open as well. Be sure to check that backcountry campground status page to learn more about what permits might be available to you this weekend. In the backcountry, Snyder and Lincoln Lake will be closed for the summer, and Harrison Lake, as I mentioned, is closed for carcass. Campgrounds, Quartz, Logging, and Avalanche still closed. Cut Bank, Primitive, it's always in primitive status. The campgrounds that are open are starting to fill early. I won't go through all the times, although they're in that written report, but yesterday, for example, Mini Glacier filled at 10 a.m. So if you are wanting to go camping in some of our lovely front country campgrounds, make your plans accordingly. Our fire danger rating remains low, and the weather this weekend on the west side, always my favorite part of this report, looks like we have some rain in the forecast, but it's June, so a typical June day, we're going to see rain, we might see snow, we're going to see sun, definitely some wind, possibly some hail. Always a lot of fun to be had, so just there's a reason you own $5,000 worth of rain gear and other gear. Put it in your car, do layers, change as the day goes on. On the east side, looks like more like scattered thunderstorms, highs in the 70s, lows in the 50s on both sides of the park this weekend. So get out there, have a blast, and call me if you know when the Going to the Sun Road is going to open. See you out there.